What is up, everyone? We basically just got done watching the newest episode of Bofuri, episode 3 of the second season, and in this one they actually have another event starting up. And actually it was a pretty interesting event because of it, it made Sally and Maple play together, which, we don't get a whole lot of that, as much as we used to. And so they get to use their new skills and new things that they've progressively got previously as they get up in levels. So it was actually a really good event, but it's funny because this was an event that the GMs were trying to make it very hard for Maple to pass, and she has been dominating, absolutely dominating. We had the first boss, which was supposedly a very defensive dragon and essentially hard for Maple to defeat. But Maple decides to just jump in the dragon's mouth and then shoots her lasers and, kills her from the inside. So they didn't expect that she would do something like that, which, even I, while watching it, even in my reactions, which you can check on Patreon, I straight up was saying like, oh, just shoot its mouth while it's open. She does that, but she decides to go inside of its mouth, which was like, okay. The second boss is really what I want to talk about. So throughout this whole episode, throughout the whole series, really, you get the regular style of anime drawing. Even here, you can see is, regular, drawn well. They move to a 3D like model type while they are attacking the second boss. So in this 3D model, at first I was like, oh, this actually looks not too bad, not too bad. But then when they start having these moments where they're kind of talking and everything, there's something about it that doesn't look right, in my opinion. It's like their heads are kind of like oval shaped and such when, they're trying, and the real reason why they did this was essentially there's a lot more movement in this fight between the second boss. The second boss is basically there in the library, and it's a book and this book absorbs majority of Maple's abilities. So it gave the chance for Sally to take the fight and really put Maple in the backseat, and kind of gave the fact that Sally does want one of these days want to fight Maple 1v1 and see who's the best, if you will. So it was kind of like a practice run for Sally, and even the GMs didn't think that Sally would be able to destroy it that easily. But she defeats this, but the way she defeats it is unknown to us. They actually cut to Maple and her, funny moment getting eaten type deal. They don't show us what skill Sally uses to destroy it. It was straight up setting up to, she was like, oh, well, I guess I gotta use this ability, and then cuts away, and the next thing you know, it's defeated. So we don't know, which makes me wonder, it's like, okay, either it's gonna be a surprise later, of course, but is it gonna be a surprise, A, when she's backed up against the wall, against another opponent, or is it gonna be a moment when she's actually fighting Maple 1v1, and she's like, all right, I didn't show you everything I can do, and then bam, throws upon this special move. Is it gonna be like an end of the season type deal, which would be interesting, I think. And I'm sure Maple will still win somehow. Finally, they fight a boss. The final boss was interesting at first because it was actually this lava golem. As they're fighting this lava golem, it was like, okay, lava actually gets on Maple and she's like, oh, I took some damage, like barely any. And it was like, okay, they got this lava guy, which is actually pretty interesting because he goes through phases. He actually starts off in lava form, and then as soon as looks like they're about to win against the lava form, it goes to an ice form, and the whole dungeon changes to ice. And I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. We got phases on this boss. And she just goes atrocity and eats his head off. What's funny is, as she's about to do it, the whole dungeon turns green. She basically defeats it in its second stage and didn't even get the chance to go to its third stage for, I guess, some sort of rock. It probably would have been like some rock grass golem or something, but she defeats it and it doesn't even get a chance to get to that mode. So yeah, really stressing how OP she is. And of course the GMs are just sitting there like, what in the world are we gonna do? The 3D effects and in the second boss fight, it was just it was good at first, but as it kept going on, it was more detracting. It really took the whole essence of the anime and the way we are used to seeing it to something that's like, what is going on here? Thankfully, it was only in that one section. It wasn't like the rest of the episode, or like, you know, maybe they'll have it for future episodes. And if they had it in previous episodes, I honestly did not notice. Even in season 1, if they had it in season 1, I didn't notice that either. But this was the first time they're really taking note of it. Like, oh, this is a real change. And it's not a problem per se. I mean, personally, I don't really care whether or not, you know, it's like, oh, they just decided to do it this different style. Okay. Oh, that's fine. But I know there's some enthusiasts that are like out there like, how dare they? How dare they change what I've been used to? So it is what it is. Otherwise, I've always said before, Bofuri is actually a really good anime to sit back, relax, and enjoy. And remember those days of yesteryear when MMOs were the top of the line, creme de la creme as far as in gaming. And now, not so much. But it was still a really good episode, and I hope you guys got a chance to see the reaction on Patreon. If not, I hope you guys enjoyed the actual episode itself, and we'll see what happens next week. I'm sure it's going to be more in this dungeon and more bosses, and maybe we'll get a, like, level 10 boss that the GMs were like, all right, this is really going to do it, and actually pose some resistance. We'll see. You guys have a good one, and make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube Analyze It reviews, and make sure you stay tuned for even more reviews for the future. You guys be safe, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.